Local 15 News.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Greg Peterson.
And I'm Kim Thurman. Our big story tonight at 10 o'clock, a meeting of some of Mobile's primetime players. And Local 15 News was the only news organization there, as these business leaders set to figure out the city's multi-million-dollar crisis projected for next year.
The committee was organized by a Mobile City Councilman, and tonight they met with the man who is predicting a very serious budget crisis for the city. Local 15's Trish Williford was there and joins us now. Trish, what do they think has to happen to put Mobile's finances back in order?
Well, Greg, they believe a few things have to happen, but the problem is the group needs to come up with a solid solution to this crisis in a very short amount of time.
This is what worries me, is we're fighting like crazy to solve the problem of 2013. And this problem is going to just continue to get worse.
Bottom line, every one of us have a bottom line interest in this thing working.
Call it a meeting of the minds tonight in downtown Mobile as 13 members of a newly formed financial advisory committee got an earful from Mayor Sam Jones about the financial outlook for the city. The mayor painted a grim picture in black and white about a projected $29 million budget deficit for next year. Now it's up to this committee to try and find ways to combat the crisis.
I guarantee you half the people in this room walked into this committee thinking, gosh, I don't know why we have to have more taxes, but I bet it's not. But because of the education we've gotten, I believe a lot of that attitude has shifted. I know mine has.
I want you to digest the facts, understand the facts. I think we basically going to come to the same conclusion that the city has a gap because of the economic downturn. We need to find a way to fill that gap.
The committee has already had a few days to review the mayor's proposed budget for next year, and they came armed with some recommendations of their own. At the top of the list, discuss ways to generate more revenue for the city. And the chairman of this new committee believes a tax increase must be considered.
That's got to be one of the things on the table. Yeah. But I don't think that's so much the issue. Is what are we going to do to make the city operate efficiently?
Well, the mayor told the group he'd like to have some recommendations by the 15th of this month. The committee will meet again next Monday to try to put together a plan of action. Kim?
Trish, thanks a lot. Well, the Sims family is without a home tonight. Fire ripped through their home on Jamaica Road this evening. The family left to go to the store. A neighbor noticed smoke and called 911. By the time the family returned home, their house was up in flames. As you can see, the house is a complete loss. There's still no word tonight on what started that fire.
The three teenagers connected to a shooting that killed a 17-year-old girl could still face murder charges. Scott Bird, Dylan Tyree, and Daniel Parnell were back in court today. Bird and Tyree were rearrested and are again in jail tonight. Authorities say they were involved in a much bigger burglary ring than just the fish camps on Gravine Island when Summer Moody was shot. At today's hearing, investigators said Summer was an active participant in the break-ins last month on the island. We also learned it was fisherman Larry Duncan who fired the fatal shot that hit Summer Moody. Duncan is a convicted felon. He pleaded guilty to selling cocaine in 1991. It is against the law for felons to use or possess firearms. The district attorney says the fisherman will not face any charges, but the Moody family attorney says that decision may need to be reconsidered.
When I met with the family, the father of Summer Moody told me that had these felons not been possessing firearms in the first case, his daughter would still be alive today.
Now, the three boys could be held responsible for Summer's death. That will now be decided by a grand jury.
Well, the woman charged with murder for a wreck that killed a local musician will stay in jail without bond. Jennifer Fram has been charged with reckless murder for Nicholas Marco's death. Troopers say Fram was twice the legal limit of blood alcohol after the wreck. Fram was on probation and had her license revoked for a previous DUI at the time. She'll be arraigned Monday.
Well, a group of neighbors in Fairhope made a pretty incredible discovery on a nearby lot this week. They discovered a couple of Civil War era artillery shells buried smack in the middle of all their houses. Historians say the relics are very rare and could be worth some money. Local 15's Tammy Braze went to check it out, and she joins us now. Tammy, the discovery was purely by accident, wasn't it?
That's right, Greg. The first was discovered by a gardener, the second shortly after that by a man walking his dog. But these aren't just historical relics. Police say they could still be live and ready to explode.
Lots of folks in this quiet Fairhope neighborhood hang American flags outside their door. But little did any of them know a piece of American history was buried just steps away.
It's been a very exciting experience, to say the least.
Sean Holland is a military historian. On Wednesday, her neighbor knocked on her door and asked her to come check something out.
When I arrived on the scene, I realized it was a Civil War munition, and I was quite shocked.
A Reed 6.4 mortar, to be exact, used by the Confederate Army during the Civil War. A short while later, her son Chad took their dog out to explore, and lo and behold, a second one.
I think it's extremely crazy, to tell you the truth, that even one would be found, let alone a second one.
Holland says there's no telling how the mortars got there, and there could potentially be more. But if handled incorrectly, there's also the potential for an explosion.
Some of them will be duds, but munitions generally last a long, long time.
For now, Holland and her neighbors are leaving the shells to police to handle, but she hopes one will eventually land in the Fairhope Museum, a piece of history for all to enjoy.
This is our history, you know, and our history is very important to us. It shows us where we came from and where we're headed.
Well, there are a lot of these relics around. You know, there was a lot of Civil War activity in this area, and these things apparently are worth a pretty penny, aren't they?
That's right, they can be, Greg. I ran a search on the internet, and similar items are going for upwards of $1,000.
Wow, for a couple of shells. All right, Tammy, thanks.
Well, the search is on for the Okaloosa County's former tourism director, who was under investigation for using taxpayer dollars to buy a luxury yacht. Authorities are looking for Mark Bellinger. They say he left a suicide note at his Destin home today. Bellinger resigned after the sheriff's office launched their investigation. Apparently, he bought the $700,000 Seacraft, and no one in his office knew until the title came in the mail. Bellinger is believed to be driving a silver Subaru Legacy. Family members say the car is gone and they don't know where he is.
Well, we dried out a little bit today, but homeowners on Dog River say yesterday's gully washer brought back an unwelcome sight that has become all too common. This is video of trash streaming through the river after yesterday's downpours. A month ago, we told you that the city was working to try and prevent this. In fact, Mobile had been fined by the state for not having a better plan to deal with the mess. Homeowners say nothing is being done, but the city told us today it's waiting for the Alabama Department of Environmental Management to sign off on their ideas to deal with the Dog River trash.
Well, things are drying out tonight, and the weekend is looking a whole lot better. Weather Authority Chief Meteorologist Derek Beasley has the most accurate forecast along the Gulf Coast for us.
Well, guys, we're certainly a lot better off tonight than we were this time last night, where some areas picking up close to 12 inches of rainfall over in Baldwin County. Daphne picking up just a little under 11.5 inches since last night and early this morning, and looks like for the rest of the week, for tomorrow and in the weekend, only isolated chances for rain. So all that big soaker that we had, the frog strangler, if you will, like Greg and I were calling it earlier, looks like that is ancient history right now, although a lot of folks still cleaning up after some of those heavier showers and storms. Live Pinpoint Doppler is dry tonight. We did have some showers early over parts of Okaloosa County, and that's really about it. Everything else is beginning to dry out, and we're expecting plenty of sunshine for tomorrow. Still can't rule out an isolated shower or storm for tomorrow afternoon, but looks like the rain chance is about 20% for tomorrow and into the upcoming weekend. Here's a look at your almanac for today. Take a look at this. For the month so far, we're only 3 days into the month and already 6.5 inches above where we should be for this time, at least for this month, I should say. Now, last month, we finished April about 2.2 inches below average, so we actually made up for that. So we're doing pretty good there. We did see enough sunshine today to get us back to the low to mid 80s, and we expect some upper 80s for tomorrow afternoon. Actually be a little bit warmer into the weekend with highs near 90. Pretty muggy out there right now with an east-southeast wind about 5 to 10. Temperatures running into the low to mid 70s right now, and most areas either around 70 or mid 70s now. But most of the rain today was just east of the region. Little showers and storms just kind of flaring up across Tennessee and parts of Alabama down to the Florida Panhandle. You see where the axis of rain, the heaviest rain, was for today. Yesterday, if you remember, it was basically from New Orleans to Mobile, and then today it was from Mobile eastward towards Atlanta. We expect this storm system to continue moving away from the area. Pinpoint predictor shows only isolated chances for storms for tomorrow afternoon with a mixture of cloud and sunshine. So more sun for tomorrow means warmer temperatures. We'll be back near 90 degrees for tomorrow afternoon and into the upcoming weekend. Only a slight chance for a shower. High rip current risk today should still be relatively relatively high for tomorrow. I think it'll be a little bit better, though. Winds will be out of the southeast about 10 to 15 miles an hour. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be trying to get out in the water. Just be careful. There are still red flags flying at the area beaches, and your marine forecast, seas running 2 to 3 feet, so not nearly as bad there. Light to moderate chop on the area waters. For tonight, isolated showers and patchy fog developing from all that rain that we had yesterday. Lots of moisture in the ground. That's going to create a little fog in the morning. Otherwise, clouds and sunshine for your Friday, 87. 7-8 forecast, only slim chances for rain into the weekend. We're going to go to 20% tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. And notice highs getting back near 90 degrees. So that sunshine should help evaporate some of that rain that we had yesterday. It was really a big gully washer across our area.
So we started to dry out now. Amazing how Mobile got so much. Pensacola, barely any rain. It just was ripping right up.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the way those storms oriented themselves. By the time they got over to northwest Florida, they were falling apart, but they still got a little bit of rain as well.
All right, Derek, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, Melinda Hicks of Orange Beach is our Facebook friend tonight. She may be an Auburn fan, but Melinda says she wouldn't trade anything for her beachfront view.
We'd love to hear from folks on the beach as well or anywhere else in our area. Find Local 15 on Facebook and click like, and you might be our next famous face. Well, if you enjoy bargain hunting when you're out shopping, the place we are about to show you is certainly worth the drive.
It is. It's in Alabama, and the merchandise is always changing. That's because it relies on other people's bad luck to stay stocked up.
Still ahead, the Sunshine State may be a deal breaker in November's general election, and the race is tighter than ever.